Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are talking about the consolidation and maintenance of power, dissemination of propaganda. The focus of today is how Mao spread his propaganda throughout China now that he controls all of it, right? And as a refresher, consolidation is the active process of combining several things into a single or more effective whole, like a coherent whole. Maintenance is how he maintained something, which in this case is power, and dissemination is the action or fact of spreading something, especially information, widely. It's how you spread things out. For Mao, there's only one really solid example for this, and that is his Little Red Book. The biggest part of Mao's propaganda, apart from his pictures, apart from his posters, his plays, the movies they made about him, the songs they wrote about him, none of that pales in comparison to Mao's book, the Little Red Book. So let's dig into what exactly this is. Well, it was written in 1964, and the official title of this book is called Quotations of Chairman Mao Zedong. And the point of this book was to condense and put together a wide collection of Mao's sayings in a easy, readily accessible book so that you can reflect on it as you learn Maoism, as you learn how to live in a society and how you are expected to hold yourself in society. This book, as you can see in these pictures, are incredibly small. They are about the size of a cell phone today. They're very, very small books. And the point of it as being a small book is, one, there's less information that has to go into it. Two, it means everyone can carry it and there's no excuse not to. And three, it's an easy way to identify who is really pushing for the government. So in pictures like you see here, it was not uncommon for people to be like, where's your book? If you truly believe in the government, if you truly believe in Mao, where's your book? And so it was a requirement to carry your book, to carry your Little Red Book. Otherwise, you would be targeted, shunned, and separated. Now, how popular was this book? Well, earlier I prefaced by saying it is the largest form of propaganda Mao ever conducted. Let's put that into scope of what that is. That means in 4 years, when Mao wrote this book from 64 to 68, 750 million copies were sold and given out. 750 million. That is 3 times the entire population of the state of Texas. That is 9 times the population of New York City. This is 100 times more the population of Norway and Sweden combined. That's how many of these books there are. And they're still being published today. You can find them on Amazon for like $1, $2. But this book was so readily available and so quickly spread out that in China, it surpassed every other book that has ever been in production in China. It surpassed the Holy Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the teachings of Buddha. It truly surpassed everything. So it was really a marker of saying who supported Mao and who didn't. But what's really interesting about this propaganda was because it was so readily available, because it was so spread out, large parts of the book were used and referenced how some people reference the Bible today to settle arguments, or to answer questions, or to make a decision on what you should do as a contributing member of Mao's government. And so the best way to really understand why this propaganda was so effective and how this propaganda is larger than Hitler's was the fact that China had a larger population, but also this is just filled with quotations, things that could be easily understood, easily repeated, and easily remembered. Remembered. So let's look at a couple of the teachings in this book, just like we did with Mein Kampf. So there's this one right here. The world is progressing, the future is bright, and no one can change this general trend of history. We should carry on constant propaganda among the people on the fact of world progress and the bright future ahead, so that they will build their confidence in victory. Mao is quoting that we need to make sure that people have propaganda shoved down their face because it's the best thing for them. In his book, that is propaganda that people are quoting. That's how much of a control he has. He can explicitly say, this is propaganda. This is made to manipulate you. And you're going to let yourself do it. And you're going to listen and hang on to every word of it. That is scary, how much power that is. Furthermore, this book was written in 1964. This quote was in 1945. So this is saying that he's been trying to manipulate people with propaganda for almost 20 years. Let's look at another quote. We should rid our ranks of impotent thinking. All views that overestimate the strength of the enemy and underestimate the strength of the people are wrong. We should rid our ranks of impotent thinking. Essentially, if you don't think the way Mao thinks, if you don't agree or have the same rationale that Mao does, we should rid you. It's pretty obvious what that means, right? Execution, elimination, imprisonment. Let's look at another one. The atomic bomb is a paper tiger that the United States reactionaries use to scare people. It looks terrible, but in fact, it isn't. Of course, the atomic bomb is a weapon of mass slaughter, but the people decide the outcome of the war, not by one or two new types of weapons. So Mao is telling his people, hey, just let you know, I'm ready for the United States to drop an atomic bomb on us because there are too many of us to kill, that I'm just going to throw as many people that I can to this war. And this was celebrated. This was amazing work that people were quoting. Let's keep this going. We stand for self-reliance. We hope for foreign aid, but cannot be dependent on it. We depend on our efforts, on the creative power of the whole army and the entire people. It's a pretty solid, positive message there. That in order for us to be the best country in the world, we don't need to rely on other people. Right? This is expecting the people to essentially police themselves to make sure that everyone is pulling their part, which is a main part of communism, as we've already discussed. Let's look at some more quotes by him. Don't wait until the problem piles up and cause a lot of trouble before trying to solve them. Leaders must march ahead of the movement, not lag behind. That's pretty nice, right? It's a nice motivational quote to get people to essentially make sure they're working. And or if you want to be a leader, if you want to show leadership, get on it. Get in there. Show what you are capable of. Let's look at another one. The world is yours as well as ours, but in the last analysis, it is yours. You young people, full of vigor and vitality, are in the bloom of life, like the sun at 8 or 9 in the morning. Our hope is placed on you. The world belongs to you. China's future belongs to you. Another very motivational sentence, right? But also pointing out the obvious, that this book is meant to manipulate the youth because Mao is not going to live forever. He's eventually going to die. And when he dies, that might put communism at risk, as he is seen in the Soviet Union. So this propaganda is specifically trying to reach out to the students and say, hey guys, you're the future, which is why you should follow what I'm telling you to follow. Let's look at one more. There's two more. In order to build a great socialist society, it is of utmost importance to arouse the broad masses of women to join in productive activity. Men and women must receive equal pay for equal work and production. Genuine equality between the sexes can only be realized in the process of socialist transformation as a society as a whole. Now this piece is very interesting. because this could easily be used as a weapon for a woman trying to get a job somewhere, or a woman trying to advance themselves in society, and men intentionally keeping her behind. She could quote this and say, "Are you going against Mao?" And then, notify the people, the police, the army, "Hey, this person over here is going against the teachings of Mao." It was a weapon up their sleeve. And the last quotation we're going to be going over for this. "After the enemy with guns have been wiped out, and there will still be enemies without guns, they are bound to struggle desperately against us, and we must never regard these enemies lightly. If we do, nor now raise and understand the problem in this way, we shall commit the gravest mistake." Essentially, if you are caught slacking, the haters are going to come to you. Mao is arguing that if you're not keeping up with your work, if you are not on it every day, your enemy is, and your enemy will take you out. So all of these quotations are vital, because it's going to worm its way through society and ensure that when Mao is not in the room, you can drop one of these quotes to get either what you want or what you think is best for the country. And it really acts as the best form of propaganda, because you can always leave the movie theater. You can turn off the radio. You could close your eyes to a poster. But you can't escape it when your parents, your children, your cousin, your grandmother is quoting the leader of the country to you.